10 years. 10 years I've put my heart and soul into this little hobby. It's definitely been a big roller coaster. This past decade, a lot of life-changing experiences. You know, 10 years ago, I didn't know if I would still be doing this type of stuff. I didn't know if I would get tired of it or not. But here I am in the midst of a global pandemic, sitting down in front of a camera and talking about my 10th year on this platform. And you know, I've been doing this for about 16 years, just doing videos of whatever. I've been doing this since the beginning of summer '04. My dad gave me his dad's, I believe it was an RCA DSP-3. I can't remember. It was definitely one of those big cameras that you held like this and you looked into with a little viewfinder. And it took VHS cassettes a lot like this one. This is one of my original VHSs from 2004. The casing's not the same. I actually had to swap the reel out for another one because the cassette, the shell, was cracked and broken worse than this one is. Now, I used that for a whole summer, and sometime during the fall, sometime after my birthday, it actually conked out on me. It just died. It was so old. But that Christmas, I got a JVC GR SXM 260, and that took little smaller DV tapes. They were about this big, and I used that for several years. And because I dropped it all the time, I never really took care of my stuff, and I really regret that. I got this right here, my very first digital camera, on the Christmas of 2008. This is an RCA EZ217BL. And I think this is the BL-A, if I'm not mistaken. This might be a slightly newer version, but we'll get to that in a minute. I used this for through the summer and through the winter until I got the next Christmas, a JVC GZ MG630. Now this is what I used to record my very first YouTube videos. Then, because I dropped this one and broke the viewfinder, which split the ribbon cable right out, there was no hope in fixing that one, so I ended up getting a Kodak ZI-8, another one of those little point-and-shoots, and I used that for several years, and then I got a Sony HDR CX190, and in the theme of my bad luck with cameras, the SD card reader just, decided to not work anymore. And then I had to borrow my brother's Kodak PixPro FZ151. I used that for the majority of 2014, and then now I have my longest running camera, I think, so far, the Canon EOS Rebel T3i, which is what I'm recording this on. So with all the pointless history out of the way, this is my very first digital camera. Now, since quarantine started, I've been wanting to rekindle with some of my old tech, and this is one thing that I did pick up off of eBay because mine isn't around anymore. This thing right here. It has a 1.5-inch flip-out display. It has buttons on the back for record, zoom in and out. You can go through your gallery with these, on and off, play and pause, delete, and you can take a photo with this too. It has a little mini USB port with a little silicone flap. And these little cover flaps always break, so I never bother with them. But I'm going to try to keep this on for as long as I can. As you can see, it's kind of yellowed with age. And this little switch you can flip right here, that's for high quality, and pushing it down is for web quality. Now, this thing could not record 720p. That wasn't quite the norm yet back in 2007, 2008, and the audio quality is not the best. And last but not least, there is a little AV connector right there which you can plug into your TV or a VCR if you so choose to. I used to plug it into my VCR. So you're probably asking, Jake, how do you power this thing? Well, here's what you do. There is a little lock right here beside the tripod mount. You hold this over, you push that over, and then you push the top off like this. And as you can see inside, there is a slot for a micro SD card, which there's a micro SD card in there, but it takes 2 AA batteries. Now, I remember back in the day using this camera all the time. I got so sick of using AA batteries up that I actually found out that they have rechargeable AA batteries that has a wall-mounted little outlet hub where you can stick the batteries in and you can charge them. It took them a couple hours to charge, and once they're done, the green light will come on. You can pull them off and then back into your device, whether it be a digital camera or something like an Xbox controller. But here are a couple of video samples that I recorded the other day using this camera. Okay, this is high quality on the small Wonder camcorder. I didn't use this one a whole lot because I like to be able to record more and save more on the internal storage, but as you can hear, the audio is very crunchy, crispy. It's classic, struggling, late 2000s digital camcorder microphone quality. The video, it's kind of blurry. The shutter speed is not that great. But yeah, this is what I used to record with for several years, and here's the zoom. Here's an example of the zoom. In and out. So there's that. Looking at myself on the little 1.5-inch LCD display. Yeah, this is the high quality. Now let's switch over to the web quality. And here's the web quality. I don't know if you guys can tell a difference, but I certainly can't with this tiny little screen. But this is it. It's the same crunchy quality, and I have my pens up here on my PC. I'm looking for another space for it because I moved my monitors around back here. But yeah, this is taking me back, dude. Really taking me back. Wow. But yeah, this is it. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And let's go back to the T3i. But yeah, this was just a tiny little rundown of my very first digital camera for my 10th anniversary on YouTube. Now, with all that out of the way, I just wanted to take the time to thank each and every one of you for sticking with me throughout the years. And I wanted to give a shout out to someone who's been there since the very beginning, Taylor. Thank you so much for sticking around and through my awkward phases and all that. You rock, dude. You absolutely do. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. We'll be back to normal content next week, and that will be next Friday. There's some exciting stuff to come in the next 10 years, hopefully. Anyway, have a good day or good night or whatever time you're watching this, and I will see you next time. I love you all so much. Take care.